Welcome back to Jurassic Park Minute. Jurassic Park Minute is the fan podcast that chronicles and overanalyzes the classic 1993 film Jurassic Park minute by minute. I'm Kyle.
I'm Brady.
And we're here to bring you minute number 5. Welcome back to Jurassic Park Minute, a whole another week of it. We're here on a Monday, Brady. How are you feeling
That's
this
right.
week?
Doing great. How about you?
You have a nice weekend?
I did. Lots of rest.
Yeah, lots of rest. Lots of rewatching Jurassic Park. Now, as everybody knows, we watch this movie once a day and just memorize what happened in 1 minute. Is that how we do it? I don't know. I think that's how we do it. And then we go back and overanalyze that. So if you're joining us for the first time here, we'd like to say welcome to Jurassic Park Minute. And maybe you came over from Ghostbusters Minute. Maybe you're just a fan of Jurassic Park and heard about it through the Jurassic Park Internet grapevine. But what we do on the show is we recap and overanalyze Jurassic Park 1 minute at a time. The same way that a lot of other movie by minute podcasts out there have. Of course, the big granddaddy of them all, Star Wars Minute, kind of started this whole thing, right?
That's right. A few years ago, Star Wars Minute, and they have covered, at the time of this recording, all of the Star Wars movies up until Attack of the Clones, which I'm hoping they release sometime soon. But since then, there's been all kinds of other movies being covered minute by minute, and this is just one more of them.
Yeah, so if you like this and there's a movie out there that you think may have been covered, go check. Where's the web resource for that?
Moviesbyminutes.com.
Moviesbyminutes.com. Of course, we're featured there. A lot of our friends we've made doing these podcasts are featured over there as well. Of course, there's Back to the Future Minute, Nick and Scott over there.
I tell you what, let's run down the list.
Yeah, hey, let's do that because it's a Monday morning and people are always looking for new podcasts to occupy their work time. So let's throw out a couple here that people might like. And of course, I'd be amiss if I didn't mention our other podcast, Ghostbusters Minute, which is coming to a conclusion very soon. So if you like what you hear here, go check out Ghostbusters Minute. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, so some of them are, as I said, Star Wars Minute, there's Goodfellas Minute, A Talking Cast, Back to the Future Minute, Indiana Jones Minute, The Wrath of Khan Minute, Jaws Minute, Alien Minute, The Cast Next Door, As If, Assembling the Avengers, Airport Minute, Ghostbusters Minute, Caddyshack Minute, 5 Minutes of Trouble, Lord of the Rings Minute, Beetlejuice Minute, and 2-Minute Terminator, and I believe there are some more in there. I hope I'm not leaving anything
Let's
out.
back up for a second. That 5 Minutes of Trouble is Big Trouble in Little China, correct? It's 5 minutes at a time. There's also Fifth Element with our friend Crystal Beth.
That's right.
And John. Now, that one's going to be coming down the pipe pretty soon, I believe. And Spinal Tap Minute, I think, is just around the corner. So
I know. God, I can't wait. Another one that I mentioned in there is just called As If. Well, that's Clueless Minute. It covers the movie.
And what about A Talking Cast?
A Talking Cast covers the movie A Talking Cat.
Minute by minute.
Minute by minute.
That is. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
It's really something else. It's Eric Roberts voicing a cat, and at the end, the cat turns into a beam of light. It's so weird. It's so weird. But you know, it's not weird. Jurassic Park. There's nothing weird about it at all.
No,
it's a fantastic movie, and we're gonna do minute number 5 here. So you ready to jump on into it?
Let's get to it.
In the previous minute, we heard about the growing legal concern over the park and the urgent need for professional endorsement. We ended the minute by seeing a worker excitedly telling Restagno about something they found inside of the amber mine. At minute number 5, we see Restagno leading Gennaro into the mine. At 5 minutes 08, Gennaro begins to explain his plan for setting up a team of scientists to sign off on the park. At 5 minutes 10 seconds, Gennaro tells Restagno that he has already secured Ian Malcolm, but he still wants Alan Grant. At 5 minutes 20 seconds, Restagno picks up a piece of fossilized amber and calls for more light to inspect it. At 5 minutes 27 seconds, Restagno begins to explain that Grant isn't going to be easy to convince. The camera pushes in on the amber, slowly revealing a preserved mosquito inside. At 5 minutes 30 seconds, Restagno says that Grant will not easily be swayed, as he, like Restagno, is a digger. At 5 minutes 40 seconds, we see an archaeologist brush gently, sweeping sand away from a fossilized claw. At 5 minutes 50 seconds, we see more hands sweeping away more sand on more bones. At 5 minutes 50 seconds, we now see that the bones belong to the skeleton of a fossilized dinosaur. And thus ends minute number 5 of Jurassic Park. All right, so this is like another classic Spielberg scene. I think Spielberg is really great at these kind of like moments of discovery. I think the entire movie, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, is built around scenes like we have right here. E.T. is kind of built around this stuff. So it's got a level of mysteriousness to it, or a level of mystery to it, a level of discovery when they're finding this amber and focusing in on it. It's it's going to come into play later. You just don't know how amber is involved with the cloning of dinosaurs at this moment. So
that's right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's the color usage is great. It's a very dark scene. You got the lights coming from the guys' hats, the light filtering in from the end of the tunnel, and just at the very end where he's holding the amber. I'm sorry, what's the character's name again?
Juanito.
When Juanito is holding it right there in the center of the frame, Grant, like me, he's a digger.
Yeah.
Focusing in on it
with the music. Everything, all the choir and the music is just so effective. But yeah, just we're seeing this mosquito, and it's like, a kind of a what the hell moment, and you're really looking for the explanation, which you're not going to get for a while. And so I think that's one of the coolest things that the movie does up until this point is presents you with something just so bizarre.
Yeah.
And you start asking the questions like, what, where are we going? Where are we going with this?
Well, and I think that at this point in the movie, I remember seeing it and knowing about the amber and knowing about the mosquitoes at this point, because I think that was something that they kind of seeded to the audience in a lot of interviews before this happened. That people talk about, oh, it's they use this amber and these mosquitoes to take the dino blood. Now we didn't exactly know how they made that happen. Like how do you get an egg with inside of a mommy to give birth to this thing if there's no dinosaurs around to give birth to it, but. That stuff is, of course, conveyed later in the Mr. DNA sequence. But at this point, you did know that Amber played into the plot somehow. But it's still mysterious. It's still centered there in the middle of the screen. Like, hey, this is something very important. I like the way Spielberg does that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a great cross cut that they do from the mosquito that's there in the middle of the screen to the raptor claw.
Yeah.
I love that. It's kind of like how these, extinct things are coming into play, and kind of the symbolism, the symmetry of those two things in the middle of the screen too.
And how one is leading to the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then, of course, with the music on top of that, the camera movement over that claw as it's kind of, just moving ever so slightly. Such a creepy moment.
And we have that nice pull out to the skeleton. But even as a child, well, not a child, I was a teenager when I saw this movie originally, I knew that's not how dinosaur skeletons look at excavations. Like they're not fully formed. It's not every bone in the dinosaur's body, and they sure as heck aren't dusting them away with little little tools like that. It's kind of a romanticized version of how that stuff comes out of the ground. Really, a lot of times they're digging with shovels and stuff like that to find these these bones. But of course, once they get them out of the ground, they might use little dusters and stuff like that. My wife is an archaeologist. She spent a lot of time in Barbados studying the culture there and a lot of their history. So I'd have to. She hates it. She hates it when people ask her about dinosaurs, because archaeologists study anthropology. They study the human culture. They don't study bones and paleontology and stuff like that. So when we first met, I knew not to mention dinosaurs to her, but I know that she used the little brush on clay pots and stuff like that, and bottles and things like that. So the whole thing about the science behind Jurassic Park, we didn't know this at the time, but studies have shown recently that cloning dinosaurs from mosquitoes and amber is not something you can actually do because of the decay nature of amber. The half-life of it is not long enough for it to have been around still. Dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago, and the half-life on it's about 1 million years, I think. So unfortunately, dino DNA is a bit too old to be used for cloning. This is taken from a March 12, 2013 article from Popular Science on the decay rate of DNA. Even in ideal preservation conditions, the scientists who've studied DNA have calculated that every single DNA bond would be broken down at 6.8 million years. The youngest dino fossils are 65 million years old. And because scientists need long stretches of DNA to replicate it, they estimate that the oldest usable DNA would be one to about 2 million years old would be the oldest. The record holder right now for DNA found in ice cores is 500,000 years. So, one cool thing about that, we may be on the cusp of cloning a woolly mammoth. I think the Japanese were trying to do this a few years ago. Saber-toothed tigers, stuff like that, stuff from the Ice Age, Paleolithic type stuff. We might be able to clone that. I think that's awesome. I would love to see a saber-toothed tiger or a woolly mammoth. But unfortunately, cloning dinosaurs is just complete science fiction right now at this point. Who knows what kind of technology we can come back in DNA replication in the next 100 years. It'd be awesome to... I'm not going to live that long, but it'd be really cool if they could bring back a T-Rex or something. But
and is it right to do? That's Ian Malcolm's whole... philosophy throughout the entire movie.
Well,
is this morally acceptable?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, off the top of my head, I would say, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I know,
I mean, like,
I really want to see a dinosaur.
Well, no, but I mean, like, who does it hurt? If an extinct creature, he makes the argument later that, of course, he'd have no problem with cloning condors because they're on the verge of extinction. Right now, if you could clone bees to bring them back, that would be fantastic because, the bees I think they're making a little bit of a comeback now, but colony collapse in 2006 was a real issue. So bringing something like that back that, maybe climate change or deforestation or something like that is harming, there's no harm in that at all. But he says that dinosaurs were selected by nature to be killed. I don't think Mother Nature thinks that way. Of course, I mean, whatever happened to kill the dinosaurs happened. But to bring back a couple to be studied for science, that you could see in real life, I don't have any moral issue with that. I would need someone a lot smarter than me to sit down and say, no, Kyle, this is why that's wrong, which I have to have happen all the time.
See,
So.
that's the thing is like, okay, so once you've done your little studying for science, as you said, well, what do you do with them then? What does Dr. Frankenstein do with this creature after he proves to himself that, you can create life or prolong death?
Well, I know what you do. You build a theme park around it
build
and
a theme
charge
park
$55 per person per day to come in and look at it, yeah.
Or, yeah.
And when I say theme park, I do mean roadside attraction.
Well, yeah,
I mean, I'm
duh.
driving from here to Pittsburgh and have to stop in the middle of Kansas. Hey, come see our Velociraptor. Actually, there's a truck stop that has a kangaroo on the way to Pittsburgh.
What?
I didn't stop and see it, though, but I saw the sign say, come see our kangaroo.
At the time of this recording,
Yes.
Mike the Tiger, the mascot for LSU, actually was
Passed away.
passed away today. Yeah, due to
Very sad.
complications of cancer. Yeah, absolutely. But there is you said a roadside kangaroo. There is a big gas station, probably about like an hour from here.
Yeah.
On the way to somewhere I can't remember, but they have a tiger, big beautiful tiger.
Yeah.
At the gas station, and I've actually heard some people saying that they might try to bring him to be the next Mike the Tiger.
LSU mascot. Well, he definitely have a big, Mike the Tiger had a big facility built for him. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
might, I would think it would be better for him to be in a facility and have the medical care of the LSU veterinary staff there.
Oh
So
yeah, no, absolutely.
maybe that'll happen. Maybe not. Well, we will update you on the dealings of the truck stop, Tiger truck stop. Those tigers. So it's kind of a sad deal. So, all right, we got anything else for this minute?
No.
All right, great. Well, hey, let's get into the next week of Jurassic Park Minute. So, folks, join us again tomorrow. We're going to have minute number 6. I'm Kyle.
I'm Brady.
And until next time, hold on to your butts.
Jurassic Park Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the podcast, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can contact us at JurassicParkMinute@gmail.com and visit us online at JurassicParkMinute.com, Facebook.com/Jurassic Park Minute, and Twitter.com/Jurassic Minute.